I'm plum tired.
Speaking of plums,
Are you island tired?
I'm an island boy, and I'm plum tired.
so glad that's gone.
So Plum Island. Do y'all know Lyme disease?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You know Lyme disease. Everybody knows Lyme disease. Well,
Is Plum Island its cousin?
spoiler alert, Plum Island. Oh my God. Lyme disease came from Plum Island.
Really?
It's a
Why is it not called plum disease then?
because the first case of Lyme disease came from it started in Lyme, Massachusetts. Yeah, so it's named after the town that it was discovered in. So the reason why, I'm jumping all the way over here. I'm jumping all the way around. I'm just going to tell you the outcome in the beginning of the episode.
We're going to tell you the end of the story at the start of the story.
Yes.
And then you have to
Star
figure out,
Wars.
piece together how we got here.
Yeah. Look, I'm rusty, y'all. I haven't done this in 2 weeks, and I haven't even thought about doing this in 2 weeks. So
Wow.
So Lyme disease started on Plum Island. Well, what is Plum Island? Plum Island goes all the way back to Project Paperclip.
Of course.
Everything goes to Project Paperclip. Everything.
Why?
So Plum Island originally was a military fortification from 1897 to 1946. That's what it was based off of. Now,
Where is this?
this Plum Island is located just off of Long Island, New York. So it's
an island next to an island.
Yeah, so if you follow Long Island and go from west to east, it's on the northeastern point of Long Island. It's only about a 2-mile long island, really narrow. I'll put pictures in for y'all, but relatively small. But after the fort came and passed, they decided to put up a research center on this island because where's the best place to put a biological research center?
Plum Island.
Plum Island, which is just a few miles northeast of the most populated place in America.
Plum Island.
Long Island. It's stupid, but they did it. So it became in 1952, the U.S. Army Chemical Corps used Building 257 for animal disease and biological warfare research. Though, I mean, the program never fully...
Question, what is building whatever you said?
257.
What is that?
That's like the main building on the island. Like the lab research building.
Okay.
On Plum Island.
All right.
Yeah. So this facility started as a animal disease and biological warfare research. So they were trying to do what a lot of places do today. Cough, cough, COVID.
So they were trying to do it.
So they were trying to create biological warfare on Plum Island, just a couple miles away from Long Island. Stupid. They did it.
Good thing there were no bats there to spread it around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got
Good
other
thing.
things.
Well, this goes all the way back to Project Paperclip because the main head researcher of the facility was Eric Traub. Traub. That's how you pronounce the name. Eric Traub. And guess what? He was a German scientist who worked on animal viruses in World War II.
No way.
Yeah, because he was working on the same thing, biological warfare for the Nazis. But the U.S. said, join or die.
We want some of that.
Yeah.
Give me some of that.
Give me some of that. So instead of the Russians getting them, which the Russians were doing the same thing after the war ended, but Russia was forcing the scientists to join. They didn't give them a choice. But the U.S. said you could either go to court, live out your sentence, or die, whatever the sentence would be, or you can come work for us.
You can either pay for your war crimes or continue your war crimes.
Exactly.
But for
Wow.
us.
Exactly.
Wow, I wonder what the war criminals would choose.
Yeah. So Eric Traub, he mainly focused on bugs that bit and stung. That was kind of his bread and butter for research. And what animals bite and sting?
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes and ticks. So during this time, from the early 50s, mid 50s, they started doing research, and the main disease that they were focusing on was foot and mouth disease. Along with another one, I forgot the name of it.
Lyme disease.
No.
No, they were making that one.
Okay. Well, anyway, the main one that I can remember is the foot and mouth disease, is that they primarily focused on. Of course, they had other diseases that they were working on and attempting to use under the pretext of keeping American cattle and swine populations healthy, which is what they were / were not doing.
So let's keep them healthy by creating diseases.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So to the seriousness of foot and mouth disease, whenever a country contracts it, they cannot export any beef. Oh man, there's another one, man. I cannot believe I forgot
Is it ear and hand disease?
What an odd
It's
name.
African swine fever. So they primarily focused on foot and mouth disease and African swine fever and several other diseases. But whenever a population contracted African swine fever, they had to completely wipe out the entire population. They could not export any meat from that country. For example, England, the UK, they got the foot and mouth disease in their cattle, and they had to kill 6 million cattle, and they lost $10 billion.
Okay, so this might sound stupid, but just for the viewers or listeners, what exactly foot and mouth disease, what does that do to you?
Good question. It doesn't really do anything to the people, to humans, but it I think, well, it obviously affects the feet and mouth.
It makes your mouth have feet and your feet have mouth.
Says symptoms usually last 7 to 10 days, fever, poor appetite, sore throat, painful blister-like sores on the inside of your mouth.
That's humans contracting humans?
Yeah,
Yes.
hand,
Oh.
foot, and mouth disease.
Yeah, people can.
Oh, okay. Well, the more you know.
In fact, I didn't
So-
know it was a cattle thing.
Yeah, but it's a cattle thing. But the next would be the African swine fever. And there was no known instance within the Western Hemisphere of any country or any swine population having the African swine fever until Cuba got it. Cuba got it.
Cuban swine fever. Bay of Pigs.
Cuba, their population, their swine population, contracted this disease. And how does it spread? Ticks.
Oh,
It spreads through ticks. And who was researching ticks and mosquitoes and bugs and insects?
War criminal man.
Yeah.
Plum Island.
Eric, whatever.
Traub. So that was in the 71, I believe, 1971 when that happened. Like I said, they had to kill off their entire population. Every hog, every swine, every pig had to be culled from the island. And then they had to import other pigs in.
So they just get rid of it just by killing everything that they have.
That's how
Yeah.
that's how it always works.
But it's
That's wild.
That
that
was
is
the whole reason. Like, sorry, I'm cutting out, but like the chicken stuff that happened last year was the same reason. There was some disease, and they're like, "Only way to take care of it is kill everything."
it was the bird flu. Yeah. And we can get into that.
Yes, no,
but
that's different.
I'm not
it's
going
different.
to.
I wasn't bringing it up for that aspect. I'm saying like trusting the narrative of
Yeah.
this is going on.
Canada also killed like
they're-
hundreds of ostriches
every
too.
time there's a disease like that, the
What?
response is yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, their response is just slaughter
We don't even eat those.
thousands of animals.
Well, it's not just
Actually,
about
yes.
it's not just about eating. It's
Bro,
it's
I don't
like-
even eat those.
Okay, never mind. They shouldn't have
Yeah.
done it.
Yeah. So
But it's about keeping them from spreading it to others. As well.
Democracy.
But sorry, Andrew was not trying to derail. I
No,
was literally
it's
trying to
fine.
back you.
so 1971 that happens in Cuba, and they have to kill off all the infection, all the infected and non-infected swine, to call the area of the disease. So it's speculated, and even Cuba then and today said that the U.S. unleashed it on their population.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I would say. The actual conspiracy side is you can intentionally infect because the response is
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So this is why this goes back to Lyme disease. Now, they were doing research, Plum Island, the Lab 257. They were doing research around the genetic code of Lyme disease. There's a certain type of starts with an R.
RNA.
I had this.
DNA.
rhinoceros,
Rigoberto.
rigatoni.
Roberto.
I thought you were going to say
Raul.
It's Borrelia. They were
That was not an R word.
Yeah, I know. I was
Swahili R word.
I know how it is.
Do you?
Borrelia
There's an R in there at least.
burgdorferi. But they were known to be researching around this disease. And the first instance of the Lyme disease was in Lyme, Massachusetts, right? So the disease is a rash. Rash happens, and often a big bullseye bump, a big where it has a white center and red rash around it. The white center being where the tick latches on. More specifically, the deer tick is what spreads it. And then you can have fever, chills, severe fatigue, headache, muscle and joint aches, and swollen lymph nodes. Now, this disease lasts and stays in your system for potentially years at a time. And it's a very annoying disease to have. I've known
This is the one that can stay dormant too, right?
Yeah, I've known people personally that have it, and they have to completely change their diet sometimes because certain foods that they eat flares up the symptoms all over again.
It sounds like it's related to like gout,
Yeah.
where certain foods
Yeah,
just
they
make it worse.
when doctors were first seeing this disease pop up in Lyme, Massachusetts, they thought that it was a certain type of arthritis because of the joint pain and everything else that was going on with it. But more people started becoming speculative about Plum Island, thinking that something got loose from the research the research lab. And so people researchers. I mean, not researchers.
Doctors, scientists, Nazis.
Journalists.
Journalists.
Whoa.
Wow, thanks, Jeremy.
What a legendary pull.
Journalists started going up to the island trying to interview people on there, and obviously it's a government facility, so they were being chased off by boats and armed guards and so on and so forth, and they had to put out a statement saying nothing was released at all. We don't do research around that at all. Around that disease at all, and so on and so forth.
Sounds
just
like
given
the government.
just given the normal government response, saying everything's safe and secure, nothing was leaked.
What's that meme where the building's blowing up behind the guy and he's going, "Nothing to see here"?
You mean the actual event that happened?
No, it's from yes,
that actually
That too.
event happened. So,
it's in a movie somewhere, but he's like, "Nothing to see here."
or the journalist who was literally like, nothing's happening, and then the bomb went off behind him.
Right. So
Our government.
So, eventually, also there was no civilian. When I say civilian, I mean like, I know FDA doesn't have to do anything with that kind of research. But let's say a civilian organization being able to go there and do checkups and check off and see if everything's safe or not. Everything's whatever. They would not allow anybody.
It sounds like a
come in there
black
and look.
site. Like
Right.
you just operate with whatever you want to.
Yeah. So nobody was allowed on there. Finally, in the 90s, somebody was allowed to go there and tour the facility, see if it's safe. After all these years, and when they got there, they found containment doors rusted with holes in the doors. Ventilation shafts were connected to the outside, which birds were nesting inside of the ventilation shaft.
This is so horrible.
The decontaminant showers weren't working. Some of them weren't working. Decontamination showers. When researchers were going from the stockyard outside back into what was supposed to be clean labs, they never changed their clothes or their shoes. So you had cross contamination.
So if you stepped in manure, it's just coming in.
Yeah. Everything was so bad, yet they still continued to operate. Shocker, right?
That's
but they
our
were
government.
capturing seagulls, and they were finding tons of ticks on the seagulls. And of course, that's how ticks spread. That's how parasites spread. Is
Seagulls.
From yes, all of them, everyone, every single
parasite
parasite goes to seagulls.
From a seagull.
Everything.
Our natural enemy.
And these ticks did test for Lyme disease, or the certain type of protein that also goes along with Lyme disease, associated with it. So
we made it right?
Yeah,
Because our government's the best. Go
Yeah.
USA.
Yeah.
So everything points to that it was a lab leak from mishandling.
From Wuhan.
Yes.
So really, we did it first.
Yeah.
No.
We did it first.
No.
So
Our
it
animal
was,
got away.
Ours was better.
Ours was the real bird. Yours
Ours-
was a bat.
We did it first. Everyone wants to be like us.
So Lyme disease, basically, I'm gonna go on a limb here, but Lyme disease is basically an artificially created disease that spreads through ticks. That Eric Traub, helped create and helped facilitate, and they spread it to Cuba first to test it on the swine population there first, see if it actually worked in the 70s. And then when everything started to degrade within the facility, and a tick somehow got out, multiple ticks somehow got out, probably jumped onto the animals there that was in the stockyard.
Probably
Yeah.
the seagulls.
And then, the seagulls mixed and mingled with the farm animals there, because, of course, birds around the area.
One of my questions is, if it was that bad and things were getting out onto animals, part of me is like, how did one of them not get onto one of the researchers, and then all of a sudden they're showing up with different symptoms and
Could've
stuff like
been.
that? Like,
Could have been. But they
I
were
would have blew the whistle so fast.
they were sworn to secrecy. And there's been in the early 2000s and journalist was asking former staff, please sit down, talk to us about Plum Island, see what's going on. And all the journalists said, with fear in their eyes, they refused to talk about it. And those that did give some detail said that they would, which is how we know of the facility, how bad the facility was. They said the rest of it that they will go to their graves with, that they will not
Wow.
say anything about, because
Wonder
either
what
they're-
paperwork they signed for that.
Yeah, well, either they are being threatened or their
Yeah.
family are being threatened.
So when you said you're going out on a limb here and you started saying everything, that's you speculating or like reading into what other
It's
people have
fact.
said?
Yeah,
or is
I'm
it's not,
speculating that it was created within the lab. Lyme disease was created within the lab, and
That's what
that
it sounds like.
because it was a former
yeah.
bio warfare
No,
lab.
it makes sense, but just to be clear,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're saying it's fact or not, because we don't want to.
Yeah, this is all still supposed to be conspiracy of that Lyme disease came from Plum Island, because the official stance is that from the government is that everybody's crazy. Lyme disease didn't come from Plum Lab. In fact, it's so safe and secure. Nothing has ever leaked. No disease has ever crossed the water, crossed the air onto mainland.
Of course.
In fact, it was so safe and secure that they decided to switch facilities to Kansas.
Yeah, because it was so secure. You couldn't get people in.
Yeah. So
It was so secure. It wasn't that the diseases were getting out; it was that the people were getting in.
yeah. So
they
so
moved to Kansas where nobody will get in.
Yeah.
now their main disease research and everything is happening in a biolab in Kansas now. Just because an
Still
island
being led by Eric.
Yeah, I guess he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for 100 years. He's one of the best.
But there's also I was debating about talking about this, but I might as well. There's also conspiracies of them doing human animal hybrid experiments
come
there
on
too.
now.
Yeah. So
Ligers and tigers and bears, oh my.
I'm gonna show you a very popular picture.
Discord?
I should put up a picture of Goku turning Super Saiyan. I'm going to show you a popular picture and it has nothing to do with.
Yeah. So
It's
I'm
just
gonna
left field.
It's called the Mantuk Monster. I'm gonna share it in Discord. I know
think I have seen this.
I know for a fact y'all have seen this because it went so viral.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah.
It went so viral for a while. So they're saying that was from that washed up on the shores around from the island.
Where did this wash up?
It washed up.
Plum Island.
Yeah.
On a beach near the business district of Mantuk. That's how you say that? Mantuk,
Montauk, I think.
New York, July 2008. So the majority of people were saying that it's just a raccoon that's
Yeah, it's a raccoon.
that's been in the water too long and the hair's fallen off.
No, dude, that thing looks like it has a beak.
Yeah. So that's one of the animals that supposedly washed up. There was also supposedly a human that was genetically modified in several ways that washed up. One of the ways that it was modified was had extremely long fingers compared to
Is it gray? It was a gray.
But there's several accounts of supposedly human animal hybrids washing up. Like there was one human mouse hybrid or something that washed up at one point.
See, those ones I just don't understand. I could understand something that's like relatively the same size as a human, but when you're like, oh, a mouse and a human,
Well,
how does that even translate?
in China, I can't remember the details, but last year,
Of course, communism.
China, they did successfully create, I believe it was ape and human hybrid,
Yeah.
but they only allowed it to grow to a certain
It was
point.
like 2 months or something, and then
Yeah.
they killed it.
But they successfully did it.
I remember hearing this, dude.
This isn't
If you were-
conspiracy either. This was like actual fact and research papers that came out, which is insane. I'm not
Do you
surprised, but
guys think that would like grow up and have what's the right way to say this? The same capabilities as some humans, like thinking wise, reasoning wise?
there's no telling. There's really no telling.
You think they did the right thing by killing it?
I think they didn't do the right thing by starting it. That's what I know to believe.
But if you're like halfway down that hill, you're like, oh, yeah, let's stop. Okay, let's stop.
Yeah, man.
My understanding is that's pretty much how it was. They were just like, oh, okay, let's stop.
Like, this is too far for even for us.
Not because it was like too far, like in like, oh, this is not a good idea, but it was like, we should stop because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, not a moral victory, more of a this might be dangerous.
There's no doubt in my mind. I've been hearing about this ever since I was a kid about animal human hybrids all the time. There's no doubt in my mind that the US government has created that and has successfully
They walk among us.
made them adult
You think
animal
so?
human hybrids. Oh yeah, I guarantee. And I guarantee that they killed them off too. After they were done with them, they were just killed them off just like any other.
So that's why we have these random things wash up. Like, that's nope, can't do that.
Could be, or that could be another reason why we're seeing cryptids too. I mean,
Yeah.
Cryptids are just human.
So what happens if what would your reaction be if you're the scientist and you have done this or been a part of this and it's growing and all of a sudden it's like it says a word like it
Planet of the Apes.
just like
I can
whoa,
say, I've never been more proud.
it works. At what point
Pumpkin's first words.
at what point does it go to like, oh, this thing might have a soul?
That's the thing. I don't think it would.
I don't think it would either.
I don't think it would because,
God
A
makes
soul.
the soul.
a soul is God breathed. It's well, that's the word. I know that, but God breathed life into man.
That's why I don't
created a
think.
soul.
That's why I think clones don't have souls.
You that's my next question is if we could make a perfect replica of anybody and they could walk like you, talk like you, reason like you, feel like you, everything, do they have a
Impossible.
soul?
Impossible. There's literally
Okay, maybe not you.
it's the same concept with clones, right? Everybody thinks that because of Hollywood that a clone would act like you and have everything.
Yeah, I don't know if
About
that's
you
what I don't
is-
think Vandy meant that. I think he meant like you in the sense of like not physically like you, but it's like you do these things, it can do these things. Like it has every experience a human has in every single way.
Like, what's the main difference
Okay,
between
so
us
you're
and
still
an animal?
talking. Okay, you're still talking about the hybrids.
No, like a
Or a
clone.
Like a successful clone done like you said. It starts off as a baby and it's 100% your DNA.
Yeah.
Like if
And
they
it's
looked
15 years old, it experiences everything like a 15-year-old.
like if they looked under a microscope and looked at the DNA and it was perfectly matched to you, like it felt emotions like you, it reasoned like you, it talked like you, it's a human in all intents and purposes besides a quote unquote soul. What do you think God looks at and is like what do you think his thought is on that?
I don't know, man, because I know for a fact that the U.S. government has done that, and
with you.
no,
They can never.
like there's probably a military project where they have super soldiers. That's who got the Venezuelan dictator was these clone military
I know
They're
all
personnel.
cloning Leo Majors.
Dude.
And he's the super. All of our soldiers will just be him. We took him from Canada. He's ours.
Okay,
Honestly-
well, you know what? I don't know the answer to that, Vandy.
I
about
think
that
he would
question
be
with
mad,
God.
personally.
Well, yeah, he'd be extremely mad at humanity, and he'd probably open up the earth too. But
That's why the poles are going to shift here in August, and we're not going to have any gravity.
Why August?
yeah, August, because that's okay. That's
That's a whole nother thing.
okay.
Next
so
episode, maybe.
This, what I wanted to tie this into also, this is going everywhere, but I'm going to try to bring it back. What I also want to tie this into is the new disease that's relatively new disease, but it makes you allergic to red meat.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a fact that Bill Gates was sponsoring this too.
This has been around for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it was out in the wild, but now it's
Supposedly out in the wild.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
quote unquote.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's I guarantee you, because it's all part of the Green New Deal, the humanity eating less meat, all the lab grown meat and
Which
everything
is
else.
so stupid.
Because they're trying to limit the population of beef and of all the other
Yeah.
farm animals.
you can control everybody if you control the food.
Yeah, it's all about control. And if you can prevent a certain amount of the population from eating red meat, then that's less red meat that you have to produce.
I mean,
that-
they've already made red meat so expensive anyway.
Well, I read the other day that the cattle industry has hit an all-time low with the amount of cattle that we have in the United States, and which is going to affect prices for a very long time.
Prices are already way too
I'm-
expensive.
yeah, and it's going to even get worse.
You're gonna have to
50
start hunting
bucks,
with us, Jeremy.
Nearly $50 for 2 steaks.
It's wild.
And you have to cook them after that.
True.
So they
And that doesn't include sides.
and we know all the mosquitoes that Bill Gates dumped in Florida too. The genetically
this
modified
guy's
mosquitoes.
a menace.
He's in the stinking Epstein files, dude. All the Epstein files came out over the weekend on Friday.
When I see stories like that are so outrageous, I'm just like, okay, on to the next. I don't
Yeah.
even think about them anymore.
But it's just Bill Gates, dude. You can't.
why are we listening to him?
I am getting so. I'm getting so black pilled on everything.
Whoa.
I'm getting so black pilled on everything,
You need to try the grape pill.
and
Purple's better.
it has very little. It has very little to do with the Epstein files. I'm not surprised with what's on there because I've heard people talk about that ever since I was a kid about all kinds of stuff that they've been doing and that they are doing, and it's not a surprise. And all the occult stuff that's going on Hollywood and everything else. Anyway, Bill Gates, he genetically modifies, or at least he sponsors and pays people to genetically modify insects to his reasoning was to prevent malaria in Florida, where there hadn't been a case of malaria in Florida in decades. And then he releases them, and guess what? There's cases of malaria after he releases these genetically modified mosquitoes.
See, just imagine if you didn't release them, how many more there would have been.
I know.
Oh.
But these
he's-
mosquitoes, they were...
He's figured out time travel, and he saw the future and said, "This outbreak is gonna happen."
It's
and
the
so
only way.
He saved Florida.
Yes.
Why not just give everybody mosquito killers?
Yeah, well, these mosquitoes were meant to... they were sterile.
Yeah,
So it was meant for
the breeding and then for
I don't know if it was male or female mosquitoes that they released. Anyway, it was to sterilize. Once that mosquito mated with them, they sterilized the other mosquito, and the eggs that they laid was null. But at the same time, after he released those, there came cases of malaria. So it's like, I don't know, put two and two together. So it
Can't
manipulating
do that, that's racist.
manipulating genetically modifying insects with diseases and everything else isn't new. It's been going on since
Yeah.
World War II, obviously.
World War I even.
Maybe.
Before that, Moses, flies, gnats, frogs. No, don't go there.
So
They're turning
there's so much
the
evidence.
frogs.
Gay. There's so much evidence that Lyme disease came directly from Plum Island.
Oh, right. We're
It's
talking about Lyme
astonishing.
disease.
It's astonishing how much evidence, and there's so much more evidence. I implore you all to
Do you-
research it
Do your
yourself
own research, like always.
and come to your own conclusion. But my conclusion is the government did it the same way
they plumbed
as
it.
yeah, same way that they did this disease where it makes you allergic to red meat after you contract it once. And it literally takes one bite from a tick.
I will be
that
upset
terrifies-
if I ever get that.
That terrifies the absolute crap out of me because, of course, y'all know I'm a hunter. I'm outside a lot,
He's a great hunter.
and there's a higher concentration in Tennessee of that disease also.
Nah,
So
you'll be
it-
all right.
It terrifies me. So
I would be upset. So if you're allergic to red meat from this, how bad is it?
the person's immune system recognizes this sugar as foreign and creates antibodies against it.
So it's causing an autoimmune disorder.
Yeah, so symptoms are hives, stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, and potentially life-threatening, and anaphylaxis.
Anaphylaxis?
Delayed reactions can be delayed by several hours, making it hard to link the food. So avoiding mammalian products, meat, dairy, gelatin,
Well,
and preventing tick bites are crucial.
we know that you can still eat Taco Bell because that's not real meat.
So it's basically like
So it's even worse because you can't have dairy either.
yeah, can't have dairy or gelatin. So it's basically like severe
Yeah.
lactose intolerance is kind of what.
And it's life threatening. Great. So I couldn't just deal with it.
Yeah, like it's severe, and this could be false what I'm going to say, so whatever. But I think it's if you try to eat meat one time and then you get those reactions, the next time it'll get worse than the next time you try to eat red meat.
There's some allergies that work that way. Where
Yeah.
like the first time is a reaction, and the second time is much worse and potentially life threatening.
Yeah, and so if you continue to try to eat it, then it will eventually kill you. So it's pretty
Worth it.
rough. Yeah.
Worth it for a good steak.
So the government, what's your last meal, sir, before you die? A steak.
Yes. Yeah, they're gonna execute you, and you eat that, and then you die before.
Yeah. So
It's like,
in conclusion,
and you write a note. Got you. You don't give them the satisfaction. You
Oh, man.
electrocute me.
I want a 72-ounce steak
And a cup of milk.
and a cup of milk. So the conclusion to Plum Island is the government created Lyme disease and purposely or accidentally set it on the population of the United States. Now it's a major problem for the U.S. and they won't admit to it.
Well, of course not.
So because of negligence or it's purposeful.